motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Lester, second by Mr. Farley. Any questions on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. You see, they're a little long last month, and then when we sent it back over to the county, they had some issues with it, so we sent it back again for another revision. So we go over again, and Keith is very knowledgeable on all of this, because he's been on the board for a long time. Before the original ordinance, when the Tourism Commission was formed here, long back when, it said that there would be, if you look at subsection A, it said it would be three commissioners shall be appointed by the, submitted by the Hotel Motel Association to the fiscal court to be appointed to the board. And then subsection B, I think, said one from the Restaurant Association, subsection C, one from the Chamber of Commerce. Well, the problem is, we've really never had a Hotel Motel Association, a Restaurant Association, or a true Chamber of Commerce. So as they're starting to get grant funding and things, they was going through their ordinance to be sure that the housekeeping was done behind the scenes, and actually realized that this is not very applicable to us because we don't have those associations. So what they done was change it to just say if those associations didn't exist, then the person would be appointed by the mayor and the judge. Well, after sending that back over there, there was some concern by people that what if the mayor and the judge couldn't agree? There was no means for how to solve it written in the thing. So we met a couple of times, and what we come up with is just that if it was okay with you all and the fiscal court, that we would just take turns. So this time, and we actually flipped a coin to see who would go first, and the county won the coin toss. So the next appointment, if there is no restaurant association, then it would be appointed by the county. The next open appointment on the board would be appointed by the city. The next one the county, the next one the city, the next one the county, so on. And that is spelled out in subsection D.
Did I get that latest revision, Mayor? Did I get that latest revision?
Tom's supposed to send it to you.
Well, I got the revision. Revision I don't have is where alternating. I don't have that revision.
It don't say it in D right there? Subsection D.
Oh,
Next to the last one.
oh, I'm talking about, I'm sorry.
I think he sent it to you when he sent it to me, but I believe, I know he meant to.
So there's a total of 6 people on there altogether?
There's 7 actually, brothers, there's 3.
2 years, 3 years, what's the
They
rotation?
currently do not have term limits.
No, once you're on there, and,
You till you die?
well,
Well, now, there's an appointed time.
you
You
can
say
resign.
you know.
you can resign and tell them, you no longer wanna be on there, for example. Or if you get health reasons, a lot of people might get off there for something
Well,
like
Keith,
that.
actually, there is terms.
Supposed to
It's
be.
supposed to be.
Well, that's
And
why I was
Wes
asking.
Wes is double checking all those now, like, if Susie's was appointed for, let's say, 3 years, when her 3 years is up, I either have to reappoint her or somebody else.
That should be,
It's that way.
so is this in here
Section 4
somewhere?
Looks like it. It's section 4. The commissioner shall be appointed for terms of 3
Terms of
years.
3 years, so do we have people that are on there now more than 3 years, or?
They can stay more than 3 years as long as they get reappointed after 3 years.
Yeah.
That they're getting
If Wes is checking on that, I'm sure there's somebody on there that's been there more than 3 years, so.
It may be, and they're probably,
You just sort of out of sight, out of mind, because that committee does a lot of work, and people really don't wanna touch it because they don't wanna have to do it, but.
well, that's what Wes and I talked about.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot.
Do they usually show up? I mean, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
We've
I
had-
mean, we don't have members on
we had
there that
great-
don't show up and
No.
still.
We had great years on
That's
there.
great. And they
Brenda's
meet,
on it.
Hmm.
I think Brenda's on it, Brenda Hardwick.
Yeah, Brenda Hardwick.
They meet the first Monday, Keith? or
Yeah,
third?
next Monday.
Did it be
The third Monday of every month.
Yeah.
Meet the third Monday of every month at the Fred and Vincent Center on the second floor at.
5:30.
So you're always more than welcome to go.
I'd like to make a motion on that. If Bud's okay with it, and you're okay with it, I'd like to make the motion that we accept the new ordinance for with the Vincent Court and the city of Louisa, and the name change.
Bud, my only question on that was, and I haven't felt like following up with you, but, is there an ordinance, when it's a joint ordinance like this, then does the county have one that's formatted different at the top than us? Or is there just one, or is there actually two?
Well, no, there should be one ordinance
Okay,
passed by both the council and the fiscal court.
okay, so this is it. But I assume this would need a new number with a A.
Well, maybe not, because, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. We need a name.
Okay.
But we need to put that on the counties too.
Yes.
It would be an amendment
Yes.
to theirs.
So I think what this would be is first reading of ordinance number, our ordinance number would be 2000-2A.
Yeah.
But, okay. And if their ordinance number is different, you see, that's what had me confused at the top there. They have a different ordinance, because they use different formatted numbers.
Right, but what we need,
The amendment to the ordinance on tourism, 2000-2, now be 2002A. Do I have a second? Second by Clanahan. Any questions?
I just think it's that matters, on section 11 where it says the official.
Item number 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Call the roll. Roll call.
Gary Robertson,
No, he didn't.
thank you. Caleb Farley,
Yes.
Rose Lester,
Yes.
Joey McClanahan,
Aye.
Cody Rowe,
Yes.
Keith Chapin.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Now, item number 4, first reading of medical cannabis ordinance. I actually got the, model ordinance that Kentucky League of Cities has passed around. But
well, I just put, that, had a memo to the council. Review of it. I think it's just, it's in the lap of council, that, up or down, yay or nay.
Yeah.
Or we could wait to see what the county does.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say, there's actually, what options is left for us, I believe, is the county decided to put it on the ballot, so it will be, and I would assume it's the exact same language as if you all put it on the ballot, except it would say the county's just city, be the only thing. So your choice now is really the same, you can either adopt this ordinance, approving it, you could adopt an ordinance that prohibits it, you could wait till after November to see what the vote is, before you made that decision, or if you do nothing, then the state's rules will apply and it will be allowed anyway. Unless you prohibit it.
Does what the county
Unless
does
the county-
affect you all? Like, can you all do your own thing?
Not unless
separate?
we don't take action. If you see what I'm saying, we can make our own decision, so.
So if you voted yes and they voted no, you can still do it even though you're in a county that said no?
Yes. So is there any more questions or any, I believe the last time the thought was do it, and see what happens. Or if y'all want to change your mind from that, whatever, it's fine with me.
I like to see what the county does, just because I think the people should have a say so. not six people sitting here deciding what the county to do. I think it should listen to our citizens, we're
Well, you're not
representing our
deciding-
citizens.
You are deciding what the city does.
Right. But
I get you.
I think that would, the county is more, I think that would also represent what the majority of the city would like.
Well, you could look at, 4 city precincts
Yeah.
from the election and tell how the people in the city voted as well. So-
Yeah.
And it would have really been confusing, I think, if it had been on there twice. You know what I'm saying? It would have been kind of weird anyway, to be on there twice, which could have
It could have
been,
been
could have
twice.
been, but
I don't think it would have been, would it?
it would have, but I think people would have been saying, why is it on there
Right.
twice, you know?
So maybe it's a good thing if you didn't vote.
Uh,
Maybe it's a good thing if you
Yeah.
don't have it on the thing.
It's totally up to you all, and I think the thing, the points that need remembered is, because this is what I had to get my head wrapped around, you know, this, it ain't none of us that dreamed this up. The state's legislators have watered with it for 6 years in a row, and finally come to the conclusion that there was a medical necessity for it, or need or use for it, medical. And that was, I know I sat through some of those in Frankfurt, and it was very in-depth hearings from physicians, scientists, and everybody else. In the end, I guess the state decided that there was a medical use for it, but they would still leave each city and county an option to bail out if they wanted to. If you don't bail out, essentially, the state law takes over and it's allowed. And if it passed here, it's medical only, it's between the person and their doctor, and that's the end of it, that's all that it is.
But you still have time after the election for us to decide.
You could, yes.
So I don't see the urgency to that side, and I think it'd be more confusing if the county was or went against it and we're in the opposite. If we're for it and the county was against it, I think it's more unity if we're all on the same page. Where's the county line, where is that house on the county or is it
We're
in the
different,
city?
we're different in alcohol,
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah.
Uh,
But you still have time to do it after the election. I just always think that you do, instead of confuse people saying, okay, the city is and the county's not.
But that's exactly the way alcohol is, the city is, the county is not,
Yeah.
that's not odd.
That's the way they voted.
Yeah,
County voted down, the city voted for it.
that's not. the
And how
odd.
much revenue have we generated from that? Not a whole lot.
I thought it was a lot, I didn't, it's a lot, isn't it?
I don't know what that number is. I think it's.
That's a lot.
Okay, do y'all wanna pass?
I make a motion to pass.
See what the voters want, or do you wanna
But you all had an opinion
pass
too.
it?
I know, I think the medical part of it for people like cancer patients, you know, it benefits them. And that's the whole idea of this right now. It's not that people who smoke marijuana are gonna find it somewhere anyway. But the medical part of this is not a bad thing, so
Yeah, I'm sorry.
you go ahead.
Like, since you know my television debut last night on WCHS, I've gotten several messages, some of them from doctors here in Marks County, saying, you know, I'm glad, you know, this is something that's being talked about. I am glad the city's kind of taking proactive, progressive approach to it. And I do feel like it's something that will look good. Yeah, that's strong.
All the doctors are in the city.
Like I said, you could always pull the 4 precincts out of the vote, the precincts in the city, and see what the city, that would tell you how the city voted. Even though it's worded this county, you know.
Oh, yeah.
There's 4
Yeah.
precincts in the city.
And you could vote county just because we're in the city, we still
pull the
peaceful
vote
thing to do.
totals from those four.
There's been interest in purchasing land for,
Growth,
Oh,
growth.
I'm cutting the garden down.
We see you growing that over there, it's gonna be trouble.
Hey, it's in between the corn. What can I say?
All right, anybody wanna? I'd say we either make a motion to approve the ordinance, or we just, somebody say, let's table it till after the election.
I make a motion to table it after the election.
I have a motion,
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
But we'll have ready if we do decide that. New business. Request for motor vehicle and watercraft property tax rate. This is something that's always confused me since I've been there. Basically, the state sets these out and basically says, this is what it is and you can't change it, but yet you have to prove it. And if you wanna know any more than that, I don't know, you can call Frankfurt. But it's, tax rate to be levied was passed at 0.56 per $100 of assessed value, and that's on the, motor vehicle and watercraft property tax rate. Same as the counties are forced. And like I said, we don't have any choice to change it, we just have to approve it. I think it does tell you there, if you don't approve it, what happens. Or if you fail to submit this, that's basically what it is anyway. So, but we pass it every year. So I have a motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the motor vehicle and watercraft property tax rate.
Motion by Keith, second by Mr. Rowe. All in favor? That's not an ordinance, so we won't have to call the roll. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and there, set tax rates for 2024. This is your property tax rate. I'm trying to remember if, this was Bridget's first year working on this, and it was somewhat more confusing this year. I'll try to explain to you why. So, we was last minute checking and double checking and triple checking with the state and with the county folks to be sure that we had our calculation right. But if you look at her writing down at the bottom, I believe is the easiest way kind of to go by it. Basically, our tax rate now is 0.240, that's what you all said that last year. They make these projections based upon how big your assessments grew or decreased over the last year. And then based on those new assessment values is what rate you would need to accomplish the same amount of taxes as the year before, or close there too. So basically this year, in kind of a rare form, if you all have, three choices, leave it the same, 0.240, take the compensating rate, which is 0.238, which is smaller than the current rate, okay? Or 0.247, which would be the maximum increase and subject to recall by the taxpayers. They just make you put that calculation on there as an option. But basically, because the assessments values this year, your compensating rate would be a little bit less than your current rate. So if you all kept the current rate, you're gonna have $413,000 of revenue. If you take the compensating rate, you're gonna have $409,000. The only other issue with that is the KRS says that if the current rate generates more revenue than the compensating rate, then you must have that here. And the way our numbers are kind of upside down this year, we fall in that category. So we've never had a hearing, so exactly what it entails, I can't say, but it reads like an hour period where a note's put on the door for 15 days, and anybody wants to protest has the right to come in. I sit here and listen to the protest if they want to protest. But they would be protesting, if, in our case, you know, they'd have to be protesting a rate that didn't go up. So I can't see anybody protesting something that didn't raise, you know. So my suggestion is to keep the rate the same, and I'll work with Chris on the little, what do you call it, kick. But you obviously have the choice of the compensating rate as well.
Just need a motion. I make a motion, we keep it the same rate as it was last year.
We have a motion that our tax rate be set at .240, that's the same rate as last year, no increase, no decrease. Have a second?
Yeah,
Second. Farley, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now,
Talking about some things, and get some things ordered. I talked to, well, first he talked to another library that's done this, got some ideas from them. And I talked to Will Skaggs, Young's, and he said, there's no problem. Bury it, rush down the market. Just need to decide where we're gonna put it. We're gonna pack it with totes, and we're just gonna sell manila envelopes, kinda like that, and just look for letters, small mementos. I don't, pictures, CDs, USB drives, they might not be usable in 50 years, and from my experience with Russell's time capsule, the pictures deteriorated and it ruined the letters. So I think just a handwritten letter from your loved one would be, that was what was awesome to me, and heartfelt, you know, and the other stuff you can hand down yourself. But we were gonna sell those envelopes for like, we're thinking $20 each. We're gonna get a stamp to stamp it to make it official from the city, so we know it's not, somebody just doesn't come up with a truck full of envelopes. We're gonna sell them at the library whenever we start, and probably at September Fest. I'm gonna work with Rotary on that, so we can maybe work with them to help sell those. And we're going to form a committee of high school students from LCHS to, you know, be here in 50 years. I probably won't, but Caleb might. You know, to be in charge of opening it and handing it out. We're gonna track who.
Joey, can't we do like 30 or something?
Won't have the emotional impact.
I got it.
58, I won't be here.
Then we need to determine a burial date. We're gonna do it this year while it's
That's
still
only
the
108.
bicentennial of the city.
Doubtful.
And then any proceeds we make is just gonna go back to the city and designate it for city improvement. So we'll be kicking that off real soon then.
Okay.
Oh, and then we just needed some startup money
yeah,
to go ahead and get a couple totes and some envelopes and a stamp to go ahead and start selling. And then we should have the money to come back.
we got money in community programs we could do that with. It's not, so,
I would think $200 would be fine. And then I can give you an update until we bury it, how much money we've made, how many we've sold.
Everybody good with that?
So you'll have like instructions that'll say, here's a good idea what to put in there, here's what not to put in there.
Yeah, we'll
that type of
make a thing for Facebook, maybe we can put it in the papers and stuff, I'm sure. What else was I gonna say? But also what we're looking for, just their names, because in 50 years, mobile number's not gonna mean nothing, email's not gonna mean nothing, probably, an address, you could move 7 times, so probably your parent's name, your kid's name, or grandkids, so they can identify who it should go
Family
to.
tree sort of, so you can.
So that's what we'll,
Yeah, genealogy, yeah.
so that's what we'll seek from people, not any other kind of information. But yeah, we'll publish all that out.